Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Keeping Up with TDX. I'm your host, Ethan Cook, here in a new studio, kinda, with a very special guest, Nick Carter.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Real quick before we get into this, please remember watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, please. It's free. It helps us out a lot. Thank you. Spotify, do the things on Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, please just leave us good reviews, tell us good stuff, or leave us bad reviews if you have some constructive criticism for us. We appreciate everything. Thank you very much. And we'll get straight into this, Nick. Are you ready?
I am indeed.
Let's do it. So, you are the Theta Delta Chi Charge Consultant, correct?
I am.
That is your title?
Yep.
All right. So, why don't you tell the people that are listening that don't know what everything you do that, like, as Charge Consultant, what all do you do? Like, what is all in your job?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. So the TDX Charge Consultant pretty much involves going to all of our active charges across the country, which is 27 currently. Whenever I go to these visits, I complete a 360-degree evaluation of the charge's operations compared to last year. So I'll usually meet with an alumni representative, a member of the Greek office, and then the executive board as well.
All right. And I'm losing my notes. All right. Off to a roaring start. Okay, so we talked a little bit about it last night, but what is like your TDX origin story, if you will? Why TDX? What made you come here, and then what made you pursue even further after college?
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm definitely on the little bit more of a non-traditional side in how I joined. So for a little bit of context, I graduated high school senior year. That was the big COVID year for us. So I didn't get the graduation, didn't get the prom, any of that. Still a little ticked off about that. But
For me, that was freshman year of high school. So I got like I was like, my introduction to high school was not seeing my friends very much. So that was pretty bad.
Gotcha. So yeah, no, when I went to Marist College for my undergraduate degree, which is a small liberal arts school upstate New York, not too far upstate, like an hour north of New York City. And so yeah, I was in my second semester freshman year, pretty much on the verge of transferring out. The COVID restrictions were pretty brutal on a lot of freshmen like us. There wasn't too many means to communicate with other freshmen during the time, and I was just really going through it one night, and I just went over to the river. We're right on the Hudson River, so just going on a nice mental health walk, and next thing I know, I see two other dudes who are just chilling there on a bench, and they obviously saw that I was down in the dumps a little bit. They came over, approached me, introduced themselves as two close brothers that I got to learn to love and just experience college with over time. So those two brothers were Kritin Naranong and Owen Corrigan. And they were kind of just chilling there and, yeah, asking me a bunch of stuff. And they were like, hey, why don't you come over to a poker game later this week? And that was kind of the introduction to the brotherhood I experienced, got to know them a little closer. And that gave me the decision to, rush TDX.
Mm-hmm. That's so special, too, because, you don't see that too often. A lot of people think, joining fraternity, it's all about, come join this fraternity, get our numbers up, blah, blah, blah. But it was it was that connection. They saw you, they noticed you, and they were like, hey, we're part of this fraternity. It could be good for you too. And obviously it has been.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really awesome. That shows a lot about, character and things like that. All right. Next up, how and why did you get your job at the Central Fraternity office? So what made you want this job? How did the process go?
Yeah, so originally I did graduate last May. I graduated with an international business degree. And yeah, at first I was definitely going forward with the job search surrounding that. I was really into the electric vehicle market, tried around at some of the big firms like Volvo. And yeah, while I was going through this job search, stressful period in most most recent graduates' lives, I got a message from the president, the current president at the time in our group me saying, hey, the international fraternity is hiring. And I was like, you know what, let me try something a little bit more non-traditional. Let me see what I could do. And yeah, I interviewed. I saw the people that I've always heard about at conventions, about Pi, some of our conferences that we hold. And I met these guys during the interview process, and I was like, I just had this feeling that this was going to be my journey for my first year out of school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you said who told you about it first? The president at the time, president of the charge you were at.
Yes, the
Okay.
president of my charge, Jack Crowley, actually. Shout out to him.
Okay. Said, hey, they're hiring, and you were just like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Like straight out of college, jumping into such an important role, like that's takes a lot of guts. That's impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. So I mentioned that a minute ago that I would bring this up. So just tell me a little bit about the wellness project. I've heard you and Carter's mentioned it. I've heard you mention it. And yeah, I know of it, but I don't know what all it's about. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this wellness project, usually when a staff member joins TDX Internationals, we tend to try to involve someone in a new project or a new role they can pick up on top of all like my current duties and operations. So my drive at the time was wellness. I believe that specifically, I think the original purpose was in relation to men's mental health. Just wanted to become, or just wanted to see more of that in our charges throughout the country. It's good to see that a lot of us already do have some type of chairperson for that. But I think the drive for that was just surrounding men's mental health in general. Obviously, wellness does incorporate everything else surrounding, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and anything else. Kind of just emphasizing a space for vulnerability, which I immediately felt when I joined staff. I think the workplace that I work in now is definitely unique and special in the fact that I feel like I can be myself completely wholeheartedly.
So what kind of did you start that project or did you undertake that project?
Yeah, so there was some framework involved from previous charge consultant Nick Flores.
Okay.
And yeah, as soon as I got on staff, Brian Burgess, our executive director, pretty much told me about it, and I was like, I immediately felt the drive to take something like that on
Yeah.
and adapt it and make it more of a big thing on the front lines again.
Yeah, I would imagine that's a pretty fulfilling duty as well. That seems really cool.
Very much so. And having Brian as a guide who is such a great leader and everything involved surrounding just leadership, proactiveness, literally the man who made me feel so comfortable on staff. It's great to have him as a leader surrounding it.
Yeah, I love the pursuing like bettering mental health because I don't think it's something that is focused on enough in the U.S. at least. I don't think there's enough like institutions in place, I guess, for everybody to get help with their mental health. Like there are obviously things in place for that to happen. I just don't think there's enough emphasis put on it. I guess I would say. But I'm a big advocate for like mental health awareness, staying good mentally, checking on others around you because I've had to deal with my own mental health struggles and it stinks bad, and I've seen like family members and friends go through the same things, and yeah, it really sucks. It really sucks. So I really love those type of projects and things that help with that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just an ongoing trend in our society right now. Unfortunately, a lot with men too, where a lot of us tend to really bottle up these emotions until it kind of just boils over to a breaking point. So yeah, that's been really cool to help spread that awareness, especially in an industry like fraternities. I mean, in a space where men, I feel like at time over history haven't really had the chance to be vulnerable in their brotherhoods.
Yeah, it is difficult, and it can be really difficult to break through someone's shell too, especially like a young adult male. I think, and I think that has to do with like when you're little, it's like boys can't cry, or at least that's like you hear that a lot from like kids at school, and sometimes unfortunately for some kids too, like their parents will say that too, like man up, you can't cry. And that bakes that into your brain as you grow up. Like, I can't deal with this. I can't cry. I can't be vulnerable.
Yeah,
I just had to bottle it up and deal with it. And sometimes that becomes too much. I mean, just situation the other day, tragic situation. I don't know if you know or not, but LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey. Unfortunately, that had a premature death because of mental health and suicide, and it's really it stinks really bad. And rest in peace, Kyron Lacey. Thoughts and prayers to family, friends, all that, and anybody that's lost loved ones because of mental health issues. It really sucks. Yeah, really happy that we're putting that you and our fraternity as a whole, I think, put focus on that. We try to in this house as well, doing fireside chats and trying to make the mental health chair like a more prominent role in the house as well. So I really like that initiative.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, it keeps getting more traction over time.
Okay. So on a little bit lighter of a note, we'll take a little bit of the weight off there. We got that out of the way early.
Yeah.
So what has being charge consultant been like?
I think a lot of people tend to ask me this, whether it's, close friends, parents who might not completely understand exactly what I do, just anyone else involved. Especially I have some family in England too, and the whole concept of fraternities is just like bonkers to them. But pretty much, it is just, I think the word that comes to mind is just perspective. Like when I complete all of these travels, Wabash, Upsilon Deuteron being my 24th out of the 27 charges I visited, I've been able to see so many brotherhoods that it's hard to explain. You just see so much, whether that's personal, seeing how they operate, but on top of that, getting to know these guys, getting to know these brothers who I not a lot of people have the chance to experience the brotherhood nationally.
Yeah, and I would imagine like most, if not all, probably have like their own feel. Like they all feel a little like each one's a little bit different than the last. I would imagine,
Yeah, definitely. I
mostly
think
because of culture and
yeah. There's always something that stands out. I feel like at each school where like they have their own culture, they have they have their own shtick to them. Everyone has their own vibe, but the thing that's cool about that is that no matter what, everyone is different in a little bit of a way, but everyone kind of really does tend to have this sense of brotherhood that I believe Theta Delts are so good at having.
And this is just something I'm more curious about. What does like scheduling look like for that? Like, are you given a schedule like you need to hit these ones in this order, or do you get to make the schedule, or do for each charge reach out to you? Like, how does the scheduling work with that?
Yeah, so usually I'll be in contact with the presidents of each charge and kind of reach out to them, see, what the timing of the semester might look like, this, and that. Obviously, there being 27 charges and only one of me, I kind of feel that out at the beginning. So in September, I was kind of sending out a bunch of emails and just like, hey, like this is when I'll probably come. Does this sound good with you? And then me and the director of charge operations, John Lowry, we kind of go through and figure out the logistics behind that.
Okay, and then you're off to Penn State next, right?
Yep.
Heading off to Penn State after
Tomorrow
this?
I head up to Penn State, which will be the 25th, and then in about a week I finalize my visits with Beta Deuteron at Iowa State and Sigma Deuteron at University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Okay, so all around the Midwest area, staying in the area.
Oh yeah.
Are you planning on driving all that? Are you taking a plane at some point, or?
So yeah, since this trip has been, it's definitely been a little bit of a long road trip. I started up going to University of Toronto, our Canadian charge, and then from there I went down to Michigan State, from Michigan State to University of Michigan, from Michigan to here, and then Penn State to kind of wrap it up. So my last Midwest trips will be a flight to both, and kind of going off that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a lot of driving.
Definitely.
All right. So what have you gained from being charge consultant? Like, has it given you new outlook or different? Like, what have you kind of taken away from this experience?
Yeah, I think for starters, I mean, I'm definitely proud about some of the skills I've taken on, especially in just being very social. At the end of the day, we're all brothers at each charge, but I kind of only have one or two point persons of communication at first, and then I get to these charges, I got to be personable enough to deal with them, but also like get to know them. So I think there's a lot of skills, or like my biggest takeaways are like having pride in my personal ability, being able to learn facilitation methods, whether that's communicating with the Greek office. Like I'll have meetings, whether it's just one main chapter or charge advisor, or just like a whole group of people. especially with alumni relations too. In some cases, they are older guys in general, and
Yeah.
you know it's really cool to see that I'm able to communicate with everyone on the same level, all talking theta dope. Yeah.
So what does what does like how does the term work for this? I guess is it like a 1 year term, and then there's like another election of some sort. How does that
Yep.
work?
So the term is from July to the following July. It is a 1 year term,
Mm,
and yeah, that's kind of how it works in that
okay.
regard.
Are you able to run again, or does it have to go on to somebody different?
Yeah, yeah, I am able to run again,
Okay.
and I'm definitely thinking about that.
Yeah.
However, yeah, I'm still a little unsure about my future,
Hmm.
but I really do love this organization, and I think it would be great if I'd be able to stay on.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. We haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time together, but the time we have, it's been pretty fun. I've enjoyed the conversations that we've had so far. So
Same here, brother.
yeah, it's been a good time. So what is taking up this role been like? Just 1 year removed from college because you graduated last spring, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I graduated last May 18th. I had a pretty busy travel summer where, I was going to, I actually went to England once. I have a lot of family there on my dad's side. Kind of just did, post grad, just having fun, relaxing while still applying for jobs. But yeah, I didn't really have too much time to settle down, really give too much thought on what I was doing, where I was going, and obviously I went through how I found this job. But I think, yeah, since pretty much September, I've just been on the go and have been traveling. And I'll be the first to admit, the first couple were a little rocky. You're kind of getting into this new role, especially just my first role post grad, and
Yeah,
just you learn a lot.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
imagine that'd be tough.
Yeah, so you learn to improve your operations over time, and this being my 24th charge, I'm very confident in my abilities, and it's been really cool to see some of that stuff pay off.
Yeah. So this is my little bit more future oriented question, but so what kind of work outside or like if you weren't to take this on next year as well, what are some other things you've considered doing?
Yeah,
Some of the
so
possibilities, if you will.
yeah, I think this job definitely opened my eyes into just like the field of higher education in general.
Mhm.
I could maybe see myself pursuing a master's degree in just higher or just some type of higher education field, whether that's and trying to become a graduate assistant at one school like that. That honestly, or that actually was the pathway of our previous charge consultant, Nick Flores, who,
Mhm.
while doing this job, he was able to secure a position working at the Greek office at University of Rhode Island while
Mhm.
pursuing his master's degree. I think that is definitely something that I might entertain in the future. I think just being a consultant in general, that's kind of brought on a lot of skills in that aspect. Just so Yeah, I think the world of consulting definitely opened my eyes. Maybe I could get more involved in that, or just going back to my original roots of what I studied and just really being interested in the electric vehicle market. Might try to try out some type of either management role or marketing role.
Mhm.
Seems to be my two main interests. So
Yeah.
a lot of a lot of cool different methods of entry into many different fields, and I feel like I kind of just need to hone in on one if need be.
Yeah.
Eventually, I mean, who knows where I'll
Yeah.
be next year?
So did you go through any like internships or like classes or anything to like I guess I what kind of brought on the interest in like the electric vehicle market? Was it a class or an internship or?
Yeah, so actually, my whole senior year, I was pretty much like my I took an international marketing class, which was pretty much a case study on Volvo
Oh, okay.
and just how they
All
wanted
right.
to target themselves in comparison to their competitors, especially in European markets. And
Oh,
then
okay.
my capping project, my senior capstone class, was also in relation to the electric vehicle market. So I definitely did a lot of research, studying that quite a bit, and I think that's the drive for that. Other than that, something cool that I haven't touched upon as well is my parents. They actually are part owners in a in a company that is based in Florence, Italy. So
Wow.
they are wholesalers, and they sell stationery items like Italian leather journals and just any other stationery gift products like that. So
Wow, that's awesome.
it's been really cool that's kind of what I did in the summer of my junior year, going into senior year, really helping out with their business, as it is a smaller business, and COVID definitely did affect a lot of businesses like that. So I was able to step up, learn a bit more about their operations, and just work with them.
All right. So this is a more fun one. What's a favorite story that you might have gotten from like your time as like a theta adult in college, and then like from your time as a charge consultant? What's like a story or two that's been either crazy or funny or something that's happened during that time?
Hmm. So do you want me to just talk about maybe just while I was in school first, and then from a
Yeah,
consultant
that
thing?
works. Yeah, either way.
Hmm. Trying to think. So back at Marist College, our main fraternity house at 5 High Street was our crown jewel. It ended up being we ended up losing it last year, only because the house was pretty much falling apart after 15 years of use.
Oh man.
Um, and yeah, I think we just had some really cool memories over there, and I think our last main alumni event, which we do a pig roast every year. So that's one way where we try to connect with
Yeah.
alumni. There was definitely some, just like, not too much absurd behavior, but kind of just like getting to the fact of like everyone kind of knew it was their last experience at this house because
Yeah.
it was deteriorating, and
Just having a good time.
it just ended up with so many great chats reminiscing about the memories we've had at that house. So I guess that it really isn't on like the funnier side, but
Yeah, that's okay.
more just on the wholesome side.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still think about that house a lot, and
Yeah.
definitely miss it.
That's good. Like a final send off of sorts for the house. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then do you have any stories from consultant time? Has there been any crazy or funny happenings since then?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I've been going around quite a bit. I think I'd have to say my trip to UCLA was probably pretty funny and interesting. I was able to, when I do these visits as well, I like to, just go out and about, explore, like, the more touristy things as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I think something notable about that was kind of just, going down Hollywood Boulevard, I went on the Hollywood sign hike. And
Oh,
I
that's
think
cool.
I think that's where this story is gonna go headed. I went with
That's
some
cool.
I went with some friends on this hike, and we ended up taking like it literally took us like 4.5 hours to get to the sign. And I was
Wow.
not in hiking shoes. I'm actually in the shoes I was in like now, which has like zero traction on the bottom. And
Oh no.
apparently there was just like a normal path where like cars could drive up and down, but we did not find that path. It was 30 to 45 minutes of us literally just like sliding and shifting down, and it was definitely scary.
Just going straight up a rugged hill.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was definitely treacherous to say the least, and
I would imagine.
yeah, it was it was definitely a time. I'm just glad I made it out safe.
Yeah, same. That sounds scary.
Yeah, it definitely was interesting.
That sign was probably like a beacon of light.
Oh my
We
gosh.
just gotta keep going.
Oh
It's
my
right
gosh.
there.
Getting up there and then seeing a car like driving up, and we're like, wait a minute. How did that get up there, and why did we not take that path up? But
Did you guys at least take the smooth path down?
oh yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine just climbing straight up the hill would probably make it a much more difficult
Yeah.
hike.
Yeah.
That is funny. That's cool. So was there like members of like the UCLA charge there, or was it just like a friends
It
thing?
was just some buddies that I knew
Yeah.
around the area as well.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was an overall cool experience.
Yeah, that's funny. If I'm ever going on the Hollywood sign hike, I'll have to make sure I
Take the
take the
paved
smooth
path.
path.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on convention being held right here in Crawfordsville this summer? That is shocking. Carter was working so hard on it, and I was so hoping we would get it done for him because he was really trying hard. And when he made the announcement, we were so stoked to find out it would be here. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of praise definitely goes into Carter on that. I see him on our Grand Lodge meetings a lot. I know he communicates with Brian a lot, and yeah, he was a big voice in helping making this happen. Another potential area where we were going to have it would be at Wisconsin Madison.
Yeah.
Also at the school.
I remember, I think Carter mentioned at one point, he's like, well, it's either going to be here, it's going to be in Madison. So, you know, I'm doing my best. I was like,
exactly. So, I mean, personally, I'm hyped. I've only been here since yesterday, and unfortunately, my visit has to be cut a little short.
Yeah.
So, in just meeting all you guys so far and seeing the great connections I've already made, I'm just hyped to see all of you guys, especially in full force, and your alumni as well. Obviously, I would be seeing Jim either way, but it would be great to see him and his crew, see all of your alumni as well. But I'm really looking forward to
old Jizzy Jim.
Oh yeah,
it's always a pleasure when Jizzy Jim's around.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're obviously looking forward to convention a lot. Super excited. Really cool that I get to it'll be a different experience, having this multiple days of of business events and just meeting a bunch of new people, connecting with people. It's going to be really fun, and then afterwards just going right back to my house because it's only a 45-minute drive for me. So that's going to be kind of crazy because I've gone to like business type conference, similar business convention type things before, or similar things. I was a member of Business Professionals of America when I was in high school, which was awesome. Focusing on building leadership and business skills and things like that. Yep. And there were not talks and meetings and competitions and things like that. But ultimately, it was for the purpose of leadership and business skill building. And that was always a good time. But we stayed in Indianapolis for that. So it was it was basically it was almost like it was a 24/7 thing because you were doing that stuff for a lot of the day, and then you have time to get dinner and maybe do one or two fun activities and then bed in the same place where it's happening. Because at least for us, the convention center was connected to the hotel that we stayed at. So we were it was just hotel to convention center all the time. And so to be here during the day doing all the cool stuff for convention and then going back home in the evening, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be nice. I'm sure. Well, the closest airport is in Indianapolis as well, so I'm sure I might have to do some shuttles during that time, and and yeah, so that should be interesting for some of the guys. But I'm glad you're close by and can make that commute, easy commute.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be difficult for some guys, but I'm living La Vida Loca, as they say.
Oh yeah,
All right. So now we got the formal interview type stuff out of the way. We can just talk about whatever now. Really, kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
So I want to do, as I mentioned, the first installment of the 3-count segment, which basically I prepared 3 topics and you can do 3 or honestly as many as you want. To be honest, just things to talk about, maybe things upcoming or things that we really like or whatever it may be, but. The first one that I prepared is movies, because I've been watching movies lately, and there are some new movies coming up that are coming out soon that I'm really excited for. So I just want to talk movies a little bit. I can't remember. There's a movie called Drop. Have you heard about this movie, Drop?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh man, it looks really good. I've seen a bunch of previews for it, and it's it's a thriller type situation where this lady's out on a date or something, and how Apple products you can airdrop you can airdrop images or whatever to other Apple users nearby and whatnot. So she starts getting airdropped messages and images and things like that, and basically her kids back at her house are in danger, but she can't it's basically a murder thriller type situation, but it looks really entertaining. I really like the previews that I saw, so I think I'm going to go see that one with family at some point, maybe over the summer, because these upcoming weeks are going to be a little busy with finals right around the corner. A little busy.
Yeah. Awesome. Honestly, that sounds dope. I'll definitely give that a look as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say like look into it. It looks like it'll be a fun movie. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Another one coming up is called Until Dawn. I really like horror movies. What do you think about horror movies?
They never really did it for me in specifics. I mean, I was definitely a more baseline guy. You know, I saw it, I saw Poltergeist, I saw, the old school Chucky, like stuff like that. But, jump scares are alright. Like, I think that's good for that stuff, but the plots kind of lose me a little bit in some of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't really like the horror movies that don't tell much of a story and just rely like a lot on like shock horror, whether it be like gruesome stuff or just like constant jump scares. Like I don't really like that type of thing. But like when it's like, actually, I don't even know if it's horror movies that I prefer. Maybe more like thrillers would be the correct term because I really like those like the rushes, like that adrenaline rush of like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's another like similar like thriller horror movie type thing coming out, similar to Drop. But it's basically like as the name like suggests, they have to like survive until dawn. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, that movie is based on a video game that's already out. I think there's a game called Until Dawn, and I think the premise of the movie is basically what the video game was. So
that does ring some bells. I'm sure that'll be great for those gamers.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too. From what I've seen, that one also looks like it'll be a fun watch. And then, have you seen like Karate Kid or anything Karate Kid adjacent?
Of course, yeah.
Yes. I love the original Karate Kid movie. I love the Cobra Kai series. And now there's this Karate Kid Legends movie coming out soon.
I did hear about that.
I'm excited for that one. I'm definitely going to go see that one.
Yeah, I think I have to as well. Just out of curiosity too, how did Cobra Kai end up resonating with you towards them? Because I remember watching like the first, second, third. Was there a fourth and fifth? Or
yeah, I think there was 5 seasons. I think season 5 was the end.
Gotcha. I kind of dropped off after the third, so I was always curious about that.
I really like it. There's always going to be the crowd that's like, oh, it fell off after so and so. I stopped watching, like, or it's like, oh, I didn't like the story after so and so. But like, honestly, like I was a Riverdale fan for a long time.
Okay.
And Riverdale did the it fell off thing.
Gotcha.
Like they wrote I think the writers of that show wrote themselves into a corner and really fumbled the ending there. So I watch a show like Cobra Kai and like they keep they don't change like a whole, like they keep like the main through line for the most part. I really like Cobra Kai. I never really saw much of a dull moment in Cobra Kai. The finale episodes and especially the last one were really good. I think they really stuck the landing well.
Okay.
So I didn't see that drop off in Cobra Kai that like some say. Like any series that goes like more than 3 seasons, there's gonna be the crowd that's like, well, it fell off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's a critic these days, but maybe I'll give that another shot.
I really liked season 1. I didn't like anything after that. I'm excited about Karate Kid Legends. I first saw the preview for it, actually, funny enough, when a whole bunch of us went and saw the Minecraft movie.
Oh, gosh.
The Minecraft movie was a trip. But, so we saw the preview for that during the Minecraft movie, and I remember I saw, I think it's Ralph Macchio, and I think it was Bruce Lee in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it was Jackie Chan. I think it's Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh man, I gotta see this.
Yeah,
I'm a Karate Kid fan, Cobra Kai fan. I'm like, I gotta see this movie.
2 heavy hitters. Yes. Yeah, you gotta.
And this is one I'm a little less stoked on than the other 3, but I know it's a big one coming out. A lot of people looking forward to. I might watch it as well. But the new Mission Impossible, supposed to be the end of the Mission Impossible franchise.
We'll see.
We will see. But we talked a little about movies on the last episode too, a little bit towards the end, mostly like Marvel related stuff. But I'm curious, like, what are some movies that you've seen recently, and maybe ones that could be coming out soon that you're excited about?
I do gotta say, I am a little, tapped out. Not tapped out, but just I haven't really seen anything that interests me too greatly. I also just haven't been involved too much in seeing what's been coming out. But I've definitely been going through my own path of kind of just watching a lot of the classics, which I always struggled with. I think I definitely love the Italian mob genre as well. I think Goodfellas is like one of my favorite movies of all time. The Godfather is everything surrounding Italian mob is always just
Have you seen? I think it's called The Italian Job.
the Italian Job.
That's a good one. Yep.
Fantastic one, fantastic. That definitely combines the elements of like heist in it as well, and like oh my gosh, I was always a big Ocean 11 guy.
Ocean 11.
So yeah, those movies have definitely they've been starting to come back to me, and especially since I've been taking I took a lot of flights to the West Coast during my travels, so a lot through Delta. So I was going through all those classics on their movie selections.
I've always thought like how you can tell a bad movie from like a not so bad movie, but it may seem bad at first, is like whether you can enjoy it on an airplane or not. Like I think most movies are made better being on a plane, at least from what I've heard. And I would imagine, I would imagine a flight gets pretty boring at times.
Oh yeah.
But from what I've heard, people be like, yeah, like you might think you don't like a movie, and then you watch it on a plane, and you're like, oh, it wasn't so bad. But then if you watch a movie on a plane and you still don't like it, it's like, well...
Yeah, then it's just not it. That's an interesting perspective. Never really thought it like that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but there's not much else to do on planes besides watch movies, I feel like. Once you get off the ground, it's kind of like...
The thing that's frustrating with me is that I can literally... I'll never be able to sleep on planes except at the very beginning. So, like, as soon as, like, the safety video is playing, like I'll start dozing off. Like, I'll doze off a little during takeoff, and then for some reason, I just wake up, like, 10 minutes into the flight, and then it's done. And I've been grateful enough to... fly a lot to Europe in the past. Like, obviously, I've been flying to the West Coast, which is, like, also like 5 to 6 hours, and definitely is frustrating. But I just can't get a wink of sleep. But yeah, it's frustrating.
I've yet to be on a plane. That's like one of the, like if I had a bucket list, that would be one of the things on a bucket list. I've always wanted just wanted to fly somewhere. I don't want to like fly constantly. Like I don't know if I want to fly as much as you probably have, but taking a flight every once in a while doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah.
Especially when you haven't ever done it. Like, I'm from the Midwest, so you drive everywhere. People from the Midwest don't take flights unless they have to.
Yeah.
Everywhere it's like, it's only a 17.5-hour drive. Like, it's not so bad.
Can make it work.
It's like, we're driving to Southern California. We're not taking no plane. All right. At first, I thought it was just like a my family thing. I'm like, man, why does nobody in this family fly? Grew up, learned it's the entire Midwest.
Yeah. Well, you guys are right in the middle of everything. Yeah, you could do that 17 hours west, 17 hours east.
Yeah, it's not like, we're driving from like Virginia to California. It's a little bit better than that. But yeah, we drove down to Gulf Shores, Alabama last spring. And that was like a 10-ish hour drive, I want to say, something like that, which it wasn't so bad. But yeah, I'm like, like a lot of people would just be like, if 10-hour drive, let's just take a short flight. But no, we drove the whole thing, and it was a good time. Because one thing I will say, like, I really do like seeing like scenery and stuff while driving, like being able to like driving to a new place and seeing like all the new scenery and things like that. It is fun.
Yeah. Because
I would imagine, up in a plane, it's probably hard to see the ground for the most part. Yeah,
you do definitely get some stunning views during takeoff and landing. Yeah. But at times, for the most part, you pretty much are at a high enough altitude where you really don't see too much. Also, I'm not sure why I reacted to the 10 hours. I literally, at the beginning of this trip, I drove 10.5 hours up to Toronto. So I've definitely experienced both now. And yeah, I was definitely I was shot after that trip. Oh my gosh, I was so done.
What was Toronto like, by the way? I've heard good things about Toronto.
Yeah. I think we definitely have a great group of guys, just theta delt wise in general. But I definitely also did take a touristy type of perspective to it. Yeah. The guys were really cool and just showing me around a lot. I actually got to see a Toronto Blue Jays game versus the Nationals. They ended up winning. It was like their 5th game of the season. I ended up going to CN Tower, which is like their famous landmark over there too. Great views. I really like the vibe of just downtown Toronto in general. It definitely drew some comparisons to New York City for me. being from just Long Island, New York, I do tend to go into the city whenever I can. I have a bunch of buddies in there. Always good to, go in for a fun night or whatever and crashing there instead of taking, it's called the drunk train back home to Long Island, which is always just a pain. But yeah, no, there was a lot of cool comparisons there. I think, I think the food was really good. I think the nightlife is also good. I got to see, or I got to taste poutine.
I was going to say, did you try the Canadian staples?
And the funny thing is, the first one I had was actually the first night I was there. Everyone was ordering McDonald's, and I'm looking through, and then it hit me. I'm like, wow, like every other country has a different McDonald's. And then I saw poutine on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get it. And even there, it was good.
Yeah, from what I've heard, there are like some like international McDonald's that serve like spaghetti. I'm like, I could never imagine ordering spaghetti from McDonald's. Like that's just not.
Yeah, when I studied abroad in Florence, Italy, I actually their McDonald's, I loved it. They had like these Parmigiano Reggiano wraps. It was just like crazy stuff.
That's crazy.
They had like pizza roll type things too. It was sick. It was really
McDonald's
cool.
pizza rolls. Yeah. They might need to serve that here. I think they hit a new market, right? If McDonald's starts serving pizza rolls,
that's what I'm saying.
McDonald's, you do that.
You know what to do.
I want a royalty check, a big one. All right, so the second thing I wrote down for my three count, my second of the three, Easter weekend this weekend. I'm excited to get to spend some time with family. That's always the most fun part about Easter for me is just extra family time. You know, as a kid doing like Easter egg hunts and stuff like that. Always a good time. You got any plans for Easter this weekend? Or
yeah. So luckily enough, I planned my visit where I was able to get home for Easter. I'll be coming back like this Saturday, which will give me time to unwind for the day, and then go to my extended family member's house, which is always really cool. Unfortunately, all the cousins are definitely like almost grown up now. The youngest is like 19 years old, so I don't know if we're doing the egg hunt this time around. Hopefully, I'll be a big advocate for it. I'll send a text in our group chat, but I'm really looking forward to that too. I grew up Roman Catholic as well. I went to an all-boys Catholic high school as well. So religion definitely does mean a lot to me, and especially a lot to my mom as well. And it'll be really nice to, be there for her. I know it was really important for her to have me home too. I know she's definitely been struggling a bit in just how often I'm traveling, especially, college first. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I'm actually,
leaving again.
I'm going to leave for probably the next couple months and go around the country. So I know she's been definitely wanting me home, so that'll be really nice.
Yeah, that I'm sure. Yeah, it'll be fun. I always love like we didn't do like Easter dinners too much, but we would occasionally do like Easter like lunch type things. Yeah, that was always a good time.
Yeah,
Easter's always fun. It really feels like, at least to me as a kid, like it felt like the one like children centric holiday that wasn't at the end of the year.
Yeah,
it kind of always felt like that. I was like, okay, Easter's like, this is a time for us kids. We get our Easter baskets. We get to go do the egg hunt. It almost felt a little bit like Christmas in the spring.
Yeah,
which is always fun as a kid, because then you got to wait all the way until Halloween before you get to have fun as a kid again.
Yep, that's same mindset here. It was always like that growing up. I was lucky enough to have a lot of cousins who were close in age to me too, so it was cool experiencing a lot of that with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely looking forward to Easter coming up. And then the last thing I have here, this is a little bit more curiosity, but so obviously summer coming up. We have, after this week, we'll have 3 weeks left here at Wabash. 2 weeks we have a normal week, what we call dead week, and then our finals week after by the end of this week. Gotcha. That's all we'll have left. So I was kind of curious, like, what does like the summer or like the end of like the academic year look like as a charge consultant? Like, what are your responsibilities after the academic year is over?
Yeah, absolutely. So while I'm doing all these visits anyway, I do have Zoom meetings with just like the rest of staff concerning, just a bunch of different areas that we work on. Like, for example, one of the meetings is our expansion and growth meetings, where we try to get any traction with, new groups that might want to become theta delts, whether that's, just cold starts or just working with alumni who would like to see their group reinstated or just rechartered. Shout out real quick to our director of growth and expansion, Drew Johnson. He's been doing a hell of a job.
Shout out Drew
Just
Johnson.
getting out there on the ground and just recruiting. So yeah, I'll have meetings like that. Have a normal staff meeting, like a Grand Lodge staff meeting. All just pretty much working on some of the side projects that we do. I think there's a lot that goes into this work that not a lot of people realize, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'll have those meetings during my trips, and I think it'll just be some more emphasis on those, but not going to be traveling obviously during summer since school won't be in session, which I'm definitely also looking forward to since it'll be a nice little breather for me.
Yeah. All right. So what topics were you thinking about for your 3 count?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I want to go a little bit off the rip over here since
Okay.
first of all, you've never been on a plane.
I have not.
So, if there's anywhere, I guess inside the country or out of the country, is there anything on your radar currently that you would like to go to? Like country,
That's
state?
a great question. I think like within the U.S., I haven't been past like Ohio yet in that direction. So like seeing like going to New York, I think would be really fun. I've never been to New York. I think that'd be a good time. Also like some spots in like some historic spots in Pennsylvania, I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty fun just to check out some stuff like that and do some like tourist attraction type stuff in that area. I've heard there are like some really cool like stores in like the New York City area. I've seen pictures or like footage of stuff like very like neat, like I guess I don't know how to describe it. Like you can buy like all kinds of stuff at like these stores. Like I know there's like the Nintendo store, I think in New York City that I think I've seen like pictures and like some videos like the inside of it, and I'm like, that looks so cool. Like I really want to check out the Nintendo store one day. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you better give me a shout if you're ever in the area.
Ever in the area.
If I'm still around there, I'd be happy to show any of the brothers around there. But yeah, definitely at times I take New York City for granted too, just being so close to me.
Yeah.
There's definitely really is the city that never sleeps. There's always something going on. There's so much history. There's so much just everything. And unfortunately, since it is very, very pricey over there, it means at least the food standards are a bit higher, because if you don't have good food, you're gonna shut down. If you don't get enough business, you're gonna shut down. So
I would imagine
we do have some great food over there, which is something I definitely enjoy a lot. But you're definitely dropping some bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine. I've heard things can get a little pricey, but yeah, that would be really fun. And then like westward, like there's a lot of like national parks and things like that I haven't seen. Like I've always like I learned about it when I was in like I want to say second or third grade, but I've always wanted to do that thing. There's like those really big, I think it's like sequoia or like redwood trees or whatever it is, like near California or in California. You can like drive through the tree.
Yeah,
I'm like, that sounds insane. Like driving through a tree would be crazy.
Yeah, that's the one thing too. I was a little bit disappointed I didn't have like the opportunity to drive out through the West Coast, but I'm big into like like national parks too. I'm big into hiking. I would love to at some point do a trip like that too.
Yeah, when I was younger, I had like I might need to get something similar again if I would like go to like a national park or something. But when I was younger, I had this book. It was like a children's book type thing, but it had like a bunch of different like animals and animal species in it, and it came with each one was a sticker. So when I was little, I would go like camping a lot with like my grandparents, and or just really anytime I was outdoors, I would always look for like the animals that I had in this book, and then if I ever saw one, I would take the sticker out. And so like I didn't end up doing it because there was a lot of animals in there, and at the time I didn't know, but some of them were just ones that I just couldn't see in Indiana. But like I would always like have fun like going camping and like looking for different animals and like taking the sticker out of the book, and with the goal of one day like getting all the stickers removed from the book and seeing all the animals. But that I remember like having fun with that as a kid, and that kind of like started my interest kind of like in nature and like seeing nature and all like the beauty of it, I guess, all the different animals and things to see. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like there's so many like cool national parks out west, and like is it Yellowstone? The one with like the big geyser in Montana?
Yeah, I believe
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
I believe it is, yeah.
That would be really cool to see. Mount Rushmore. Never seen that either. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously one more thing in the U.S. I've heard great things about Texas. I've never been to Texas either.
Me as well. I haven't been there.
Oh, I haven't been to Texas.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of brothers that I've interacted with over my travels that are from there, and I'm always asking them questions. I would love to end up down there. I think definitely my personal next two spots that I'd like to travel outside of the job is Nashville, Tennessee. Hear great things about that, and then also just anywhere in Texas or jumping around there, whether that's Houston, Dallas, any of those major cities. And who knows, maybe in between.
Yeah. And then outside the country, that's tougher. So like I said, I've heard good things about Toronto. I'd like to see Toronto at some point. And maybe some other places in Canada too, like Montreal. Like I've heard good things about places like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
If I was in Canada though, I feel like I'd have to go watch a hockey game. Like I'd have to be immersed.
I know. I was gunning for Maple Leafs tickets, but it just did not happen. It was very expensive.
Man.
It was very expensive. But yeah, no, I feel like you have to as well. Another cool thing I did though while I was there, I did go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is in Toronto.
Oh,
which is really cool. Where they have
yeah.
the Stanley Cup and everything too. It was an awesome time.
That would be cool.
So yeah, definitely. I think Toronto's up there. I'd definitely recommend you to go if possible.
And then going across the pond.
Across the pond.
If I had the money for it, I also like those like resorts in like Cuba and like Puerto Rico and things like that. That would obviously be really cool. But that's a pretty penny right there.
Yeah,
you got to be committed to that. You can't just like go and sightsee. Like you got to be. You got to do the resort
trips like that. For a while. Yeah.
Let's see. I had my math teacher in 7th grade. She did like a small like European tour type thing, mostly in France. But a lot of the pictures and places that she took and places she went looked really cool. So I've always thought France might be cool to check out.
Nice.
She also told us that like a ton of people like scammers on the street would be like, oh, like you have to buy this like bracelet or whatever. It's like precious, like blah 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 blah. And like she said, so many people try to scam her and like take a bunch of money. It's like, oh yeah, this bracelet made out of rocks is like $55. You got to give me $55 for it.
Yep, I can honestly, crazy. I could provide a little context from that. So yeah, I did end up studying abroad in Florence, Italy. I was able to do a lot of budget travel between a lot of Western countries, including like France, Spain, Germany. And I swear, at every capital city, major city, and one of their main plazas, there are always scammers like that. The whole thing in Florence specifically was that these guys would, if you make eye contact with them, it's over.
Yeah,
like
it's like a car salesman.
It literally is. They lock in on you, and their whole shtick was they try to give you something for free. So they have the bracelets. They're cool bracelets, whatever, and they're like, here, and you're like, no, and then they keep saying like, no, like it's my pleasure, like this and that, like please just take it. It's like you ask like 5 times, like, are you sure it's for free, like this or that? They're like, yeah, and you take one, and this was with belts too. They would do this with like nice Italian leather belts too, and then all of a sudden they'd say, okay, like 50 euros, or they'd just like immediately, unfortunately, go for like the sales tactic of like, oh, give me money for my kid. Give me money for my baby. Like crazy, like just like intense, and you're just like you're stuck. You're stuck there, and if you don't have cash, if you don't have this, you're like, oh no, like I can't, like I don't have it, and a lot of them they tend to turn a little bit aggressive too.
Wow.
So yeah, even though they gave it to you for free, they'll just be like, no, give me it back then. It's just like, it's a crazy thing.
That's crazy. I've heard, I was listening to another podcast at one point. I know I shouldn't be listening to other podcasts. It's the only podcast on the planet. No, I'm kidding. I lost my train of thought. There we go. He was in, I don't remember what, like, island country it was. It was like a resort, like we mentioned, like Cuba or something like that. I don't remember which one. But he mentioned that like there was like people walking around with like exotic like animals. Like one had like a monkey, and like the guy had like a parrot and stuff like that, and this guy had like a lizard of some kind, and they were at their like cabana or whatever that they had like rented, and a guy with like a monkey on his shoulder came over, and he was like, monkey, like, and they were like, no, we don't want the monkey, and he just immediately like took the monkey and like plopped it on the guy's like shoulder, and he was like, picture. And so they like took pictures of like the guy took pictures with the monkey on his shoulder. After they do all that, the guy was like, "All right, $50."
Yep,
like,
yep.
Oh,
That's how
man.
they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
I bet there were some cool pictures though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm a huge fan of monkeys. They've always been like my favorite animal since I was a kid because I grew up like playing like Donkey Kong games. Like my dad introduced me to like Donkey Kong games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I was always like a big fan of like when my mom would take us to like the zoo, I would always like be like, let's go check out the gorillas. Let's go see what the chimps are doing. I found monkeys fascinating. So $50 for a picture with a monkey on my shoulder. I can think of worse things to spend $50 on. Like it's either $50 for a monkey on the shoulder or $100 for GTA 6. I'm taking the monkey, right? Like.
Oh my gosh, we're getting literally everything before GTA 6 drops. Everything on the moon. We got Katy Perry going in space before GTA 6 drops.
I saw.
It's ridiculous.
I saw the pictures of her, like the pictures of her today, like after like the space thing. She was like kissing the dirt, and I was like, she went to space for like 4 whole minutes, and then she got back and was kissing the Earth. Oh, that was so funny, man.
And it's crazy. Like I actually, the funny thing is too, this is a little bit funny about my Toronto trip. The first night I was there, like we were chilling, we were watching a movie, and it was Apollo 13.
Oh
yeah, which is interesting as it's just like obviously like it's an American movie, like sending Americans to space or to the moon, which obviously ended up going wrong. Am I getting that wrong? It's Apollo 13, right? Or is it 11? Or
I don't remember. I know one of them like was not successful.
Yeah, it was the one that wasn't successful.
I want to say it was Apollo 11.
Gotcha.
But I'm not sure.
You guys can rip me apart in the comments if I'm wrong. But
somebody leave a comment telling us which Apollo was not good.
Yes. But yeah, we were watching that up there, and then like you see like nowadays you see just people going up into space for fun, and like characters like Katy Perry just going up there and making a whole show out of it. I mean, I don't know. It's funny how we've really have evolved over time.
I was worried at first. I'm not gonna lie. Like after the whole like the Titan sub incident, I was like, so we're just going to space for fun now.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I guess that's where we're heading.
I know a lot of people do, but I don't really have that. I don't feel that desire to go to space.
Oh, no.
Like, I think about space, I'm like, that's scary.
That terrifies me.
That'll kill me.
That and the deep sea.
I'm going to stay here.
The deep sea.
No.
Right?
No.
Like, I don't feel like people understand that enough, that there's been so much of our oceans that just have not been explored yet. Like, what do you think goes on down there?
I wonder how many new species like that are down there that we just haven't seen before. And what's crazy is like, I assume it has to do with like, something to do with like the lack of sunlight or something. The further down you go, but like the further you go into the ocean, the more like messed up the creatures become.
Oh yeah,
like anglerfish.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of messed up like satanic creation is the anglerfish?
Exactly.
How does it get teeth like that? How does it produce light? And if it wasn't obvious already, I'm not a scientist.
Me neither. And I'd like to stay away from that. And people who are like deep sea divers, I guess I really respect what they do, because that is I could absolutely never.
Also, I don't remember who I was talking to, or maybe I was watching something. I don't remember. Somebody was talking about like diving recently, and they mentioned how like if you're like scuba diving and a shark comes towards you, you're supposed to like rotate the shark. Is what they said.
I feel like I've seen that or heard of that.
Put like hand on top, hand on bottom, and flip the shark over. or some people say like you're supposed to like push its head and point it straight up in the air.
That's crazy.
And I got to thinking like, man, like how crazy would that be if you were a shark? Like you're like, is this food? You're like swimming up to what could be food. You're like, this might be dinner time, and then all of a sudden, you can't see the food anymore. The food is gone. You're upside down. You're either upside down or you're looking to the sun, and the food is gone. Like, how disorienting must that be if you're a shark?
Oh,
Yeah.
Just a side convo since women's mentioned diving. I just found that really funny that like how do you beat this humongous like sea predator? Flip it.
Yeah, just flip it.
It'll get
Just
so
flip it.
disoriented.
But yeah, honestly, on that note too, I think I have another question for you. So, just in general too, I know you've made some of the longer, the longer road trips in general, but something that I take for granted a lot and that I'm not really realizing always is that, like, I have the ocean just being right on Long Island. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
how many experiences or have you had just going in the ocean, swimming, or?
I have been to the ocean once, and it was that Gulf Shores trip
Wow.
that I went on. Yeah, it's a long drive to any ocean from here. It's a long trip to an ocean. I've had like a lot of friends like some people at my high school made it like a thing. Like, all right, spring break, we're going to Florida. We have to go to Florida every spring break. I didn't do that because I always wanted our spring break to feel a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only one that we repeated was St. Louis, Missouri. But that was because we went to the City Museum there. And I don't know if you've ever been to the St. Louis City Museum.
I haven't.
It is an awesome place.
Really?
Like, like the St. Louis City Museum is stunning. Like, and there's something for everybody there too. Like, there's the historical, informational, like classic museum type stuff, all over.
Mm-hmm.
But they make it interesting for kids as well. So like there's like an indoor skate park there, like they just have skate ramps, but then there's like facts about it and like skating and like all this stuff. So there's info for the people that want like the historical info and things like that. But then there's kids while the parents learn about the skate park and skating and stuff. The kids can just run up and down ramps and get their energy out and stuff. And there's like a huge like playground type thing outside. And you can get up really high in it too. Like there's like this metal cage type thing that you kind of climb and like you get way up there, and they've got like model planes and stuff like it's like an insane place. I've been there 2 or 3 times now, and I still don't know if I've seen everything there.
Wow.
It is a stunning place.
And how long is the drive?
For us, it's about 3 or 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours ish.
Wow. Okay. I always get like, and that's the funny thing too. The more I travel, the more like my bearings get off and understanding like the Midwest in general. Like when I was first planning this trip out, it was going to be just a big road trip, which did include Wisconsin, Iowa State, and that, and understanding that I think even from here, Iowa State is like,
oh, that's got to be at least 4 hours, I would think.
I think it's longer than that. I think it might be like 6 or 7, and then up to Wisconsin. Like my bearing, and then when you guys go down south is when I'm like, it messes me up because when you guys went to convention last year, Williamsburg, I know you said it was what, like 13, 14?
Yeah, I wasn't there, but yeah, I think it was like they had said like 13 or 14 hours.
Like from my perspective or my initial thoughts, I'm like, I thought that would take like a day, like much longer. Like it's funny getting new perspective
actually,
on just.
I had a similar shock moment when we did the Gulf Shores trip that I mentioned, my family and I, because Kentucky and Tennessee they're big states, but horizontally. So like driving down through Indiana getting to Kentucky takes about 3 hours, I want to say, ish. Indiana, the drive is like getting to Ohio is about the same. It's about 3 hours to Ohio as well.
That's what I got to do tomorrow.
Yeah. And so once we got out of Indiana, like the drive down through Kentucky was fairly quick because Kentucky's not a tall state. Same with Tennessee. Like the drive through Tennessee went fairly quickly, and we finally made it into Alabama. And I was like, "Oh, we're almost there." We were not almost there.
No.
Driving from top of Alabama to all the way down to the bottom to Gulf Shores was half the trip.
Wow.
So like getting to Alabama took about actually I think our trip was longer than 10 hours. It was actually like 13 or 14 because to Tennessee is roughly 7 or 8 hours.
Gotcha.
And it was about that. Like it took us about I want to say 8-ish hours to get to Alabama, and then about another I want to say 5, maybe 6 more to get to the bottom. Like it was like it was so shocking because it was like 3 hours isn't a short amount of time. That's not a crazy long drive. And then we're in Kentucky. Kentucky was short. Tennessee was short, and then by the time we get to Alabama, that's like what you've already done from where we came from to Alabama is about the same as going from Alabama to the bottom of Alabama. It was pretty crazy.
Yep. From
Yeah.
the East Coast perspective, I feel like the longest states to go through, especially from east to west, has always been known as Ohio and Pennsylvania, and that is literally pretty much my whole trip tomorrow.
Yikes!
So that should be.
Where how far? Where do you know where Penn State is located in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's definitely more so on the central side, but a little more towards the east than the west.
Okay,
if
so
if that makes some sense, and a little north too. State College, where Penn State is kind of the interesting thing about that. I was told is that obviously Penn State has always been a big name for universities, but pretty much it was the university at first, and then they pretty much made this whole city around it, and now it just keeps getting bigger and bigger because of how popular Penn State is. So yeah, their city is called State College, which always made me laugh a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty much tomorrow. It's going through. I mean, like you said, it's first getting out of Indiana and then cutting through all of Ohio. And I've made the trip out from Long Island to Toledo before, and I just remember how annoying and frustrating it was coming back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so from here to Penn State, I mean, that's I would estimate 9 hours?
Yeah, it's
9 to 10.
It's going to be 9 to 10.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, we are over the hour mark. We've got some good conversation going. Anything else you want to talk about, or you want to wrap up?
I think I'm all set.
All right, I think that's a good stopping point as well. Actually, wait. Oh, I almost forgot the important thing. I can't forget the important part. I always ask every guest, what's something that you're excited about coming up? It could be anything. What's something exciting?
Something exciting. We did touch upon it a little bit, but I really am dying to see my family at Easter. I think that's really just gonna mean a lot for me. Gonna be a nice little downtime, and obviously I'm just ready for just a chill summer, getting back to my roots back home, spending more time with family, spending more time with friends. Don't get me wrong, very grateful I'm getting this perspective. This job has been literally so amazing and just getting all this perspective, but yeah, I'm ready for a little downtime.
Yeah, I would imagine.
What about you?
What is exciting? I mean, we talked about it before we came on the pod, but the NFL draft is coming up. For anyone that doesn't know, I am a huge NFL nerd. Okay, I love football. I'm very excited about the draft coming. It's one of my favorite times of year, and it's a crazy time of year in the NFL because it's one of just 2 times in the year where every single fan has optimism. Every team has optimism. There's 2 nights. Night 1 of the draft, because even after night 1, some teams have optimism because you make a pick and you're like, why do we do that? You know, I've never run a football team, but why do we do that?
Yeah.
But night 1 of the NFL draft and week 1 of the NFL season. Those are the only 2 times where every single fan base has hope.
Well, my Giants need some hope.
Yeah. It's
seeing Saquon do it last year. That one definitely hurt extra hard.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But they are. I mean, they're in position to land an elite player, or at least an elite prospect in this draft. I mean,
they are.
The Titans basically being set into Cam Ward at this point, it guarantees that the Giants will get one of either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. So I guess the only fear would be don't take Shador Sanders.
That is a fear. Yeah.
There are some Giants fans on the Sanders train say we need a quarterback, and it's a possibility. I think it's more likely they signed Russell Wilson, they signed Jameis Winston. They probably either go Carter or Hunter, whoever's left on the board at that point. They'll probably take whoever the Browns don't take.
Exactly.
I would imagine Cleveland takes either Carter or Hunter, and then the Giants take the one who's left.
Exactly. I think either one obviously would be phenomenal for us. And at the end of the day, I think my parting piece on that is it could always be worse. It could always be the Jets.
It could always. Oh, man. What an organization.
Shout out to my Jets buddies
if any Jets fans are watching, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry, man. That's so unfortunate. And it's another fan base that I genuinely feel really bad for is Cowboys, because they're basically stuck with an owner and GM that is so stubborn. He won't relinquish any duties, even though it's clear he's lost touch. And he'll never like retire. Like, unfortunately, Cowboys fans just have to wait until maybe Jerry finally breaks and gives up, or unfortunately, like passes on or something. Like, Cowboys fans are just kind of stuck in purgatory right now.
Yep.
There's really no hope in Dallas.
Yeah, and
it's because they're not bad enough to get top draft picks, but they're not good enough to win anything important. So they're stuck in mediocrity.
It's nice for us Giants fans.
For Giants, I'm sure that is nice. Because at least with the Giants, like, they've been bad enough lately to get those top picks, and once they can get that like QB and like coaching situation figured out, I guess what I say is there's hope in for the Giants right now. There's a path forward for the Cowboys. I don't see a path forward, unfortunately. That's tough.
Oh yeah.
It's rough. Anyways, we could talk about football for hours and hours, but we will let our gracious viewers go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Nick, for joining me. This was an awesome impromptu episode. I did not know we were doing this last night, and then Carter mentioned it, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm super, super happy to be on here. Thank you for being such a great host.
Thank you.
And I do have like one or two shout outs. I know I mentioned a lot of the international HQ, but seriously, shout out to, first of all, Jim, being our gracious PGL.
Shout out Jim. Jizzy Jim.
And then, of course, Brian, Kay, Drew, and John. I think we really do have a great staff. And I know I did mention a little bit about my journey going into TDX at first too, and a lot of that wouldn't be possible without my other two boys, Anthony Pizzolo and Jason Thurston, who were literally like it was us three, the main guys who really made it through and made this happen to join Theta Delt. So yeah, shout out to all you guys, and thank you again for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And for everybody watching, thank you. Remember, please like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. It's free. Only takes about a minute. Please, thank you. And like I said, thanks for watching. We'll have more episodes coming out. I've got 2 more planned episodes, and there might be 1 or 2 more that aren't planned right now that may come out at some point. So keep on the watch for those. And until next time, from my guest, Nick Carter, Charge Consultant, and from myself, Podcast Chair Ethan Cook, miss you, love you, bye.